The problem of personal identity over time is that since humans don't have one solid way to define the self or any kind of feature that they could entirely root an identity in, it doesn't exactly make sense that we're the same person over time when so many things change. The real question to be asked is, what makes you, you? This is not a question that anyone can give a straightforward, all-encompassing answer to. While there might be people that have a pretty solid sense of identity due to finding a purpose in life, it's entirely possible that their whole world could get turned on its head tomorrow, and then they'd be forced to find another purpose and therefore create another identity because they've entered a different phase in their lives. We could use the example of an athlete who somehow gets involved in a traumatic accident and injures their limbs beyond repair. This athlete might then become a writer or even a teacher of some sort. Their day-to-day behavior would change to accommodate their new physical limitations. However, the ex-athlete in question doesn't become someone else entirely just because their daily routines and activities had changed. They would still be known as, referred to, and seen as the same person, but just in a different state. This makes me think of a book I read in AP Lit in high school called Slaughterhouse-5 by Kurt Vonnegut. Spoiler warning. In that book, there are alien creatures called Tralfamadorians that experience every moment all at once simultaneously. Their experience of time is different from humans, and along with that, all the states of their identity that ever will be exist all at once. But all these identity states are still under the umbrella of the creature that they belong to, though. I think that humans are the same way. Over time, things that we identify with or feel accustomed to may change, but every experience we have or trait we pick up ultimately becomes a part of the tapestry we leave as our past. I think that the prince wouldn't become the cobbler if they were to switch bodies, but I also don't agree with Locke's theory that memory creates identity. Conscious memory isn't the only thing that comprises this hypothetical tapestry. We have things like muscle memory and even semi-permanent physiological changes that we go through due to environmental factors, like a digestive tract changing to accustom to the food it's given, the skin becoming gnarled and toughened from sun exposure, or the development or atrophy of certain muscles based on usage. The only reason that humans come up with questions like, are we the same person over time, is because after some time has passed, we look back and everything we know about our identity is different than before. We think that there's been a drastic jump, but the truth is that something too small to notice changes every day. This is the same reason why day to day it feels like nothing changes. Every year I'm getting older, but every day I feel the same. This is the same reason why day to day it feels like nothing changes, but everything was so different a year ago. I think that the no-self theory is valid. The Buddhist no-self theory is valid, and it is most similar to what I believe. Even if there are things we identify with at certain points in our lives, it is not important to name said things or list them down to try to define one's identity, since they will only change anyway.